doesn't like air conditioning and who doesn't like simple and easy? Because I got a 12-volt air conditioner and a big old lithium battery that we're going to install and try out today. I hate to say the word game changer because it is way overused in YouTube and RV industry, but this is definitely going to revolutionize how you boondock off-grid or even just run an air conditioner without an inverter or a generator or shore power. So stick around, check it out. Welcome to another video. I'm Chris. This is Salty Trip Channel. We're all about full-time RV life, trucks, travel, towing. We do a lot of videos on solar, off-grid, boondocking, and that kind of stuff, and how to run air conditioning off-grid and all that mess. And if this thing runs as half as good as I think it will, and if the battery lasts as long as I think it will, we're in for a real treat, guys. We're gonna go get this thing installed. So here's what we're doing today. We got this big old horse trailer, and it's got a old tired AC air conditioner up here that runs on AC power. I don't know, I think it's a Coleman or something like that, but we are going to be swapping it out for this CountryMod 10,000 BTU 12-volt air conditioner, and we have a 12-volt Akumo 400 amp hour lithium battery. We're going to put this thing in, and then we're going to run some tests to see actually how much power we're drawing, and we're going to calculate about how long we think we're going to get to be able to run off this one battery. Actually, let's open up this box and take a look real quick. Let's open. Ooh, that's pretty. This thing's supposed to be super light too. I can pick it up. You want to grab that box, Kimo? Man, this thing is pretty light. But here we go. It's got a really low profile, which is really nice. And we got a lot of pieces and parts here. Not too much. All right, guys, before we go any further, I want to introduce my friends Kimo and Carrie. And this is their horse trailer. And they actually run some, well, explain what you do with the horses and stuff.
So what we do is we run a ranch, and what we did is we got into rescuing horses from the slaughter pen, and we realized quickly that on a law enforcement budget we couldn't afford to feed 10 horses from a rescue, so we started doing trail rides to help supplement the income and be able to feed the horses and take great care of them.
So they have the horse trailer, and sometimes they got to stay with the horses, and who doesn't want air conditioning if you got to sleep? And especially, this is Florida and it gets hot. All right, guys, so here we have one of the rescues, and I just want to, I know this is about this 12-volt air conditioner, but this is kind of important too. So we're going to learn a little bit about their horses here.
Yep. Here at Reckless Ranch, most of our horses are rescue horses. This is Dolly. We've had her for almost a year now. She's one of the rescues. When we got her, she was skin and bones. We were able to get her up to weight, and she's actually one of the most chill, docile horses we have here at Reckless Ranch. Like I said, most of our horses, all of them are rescues. We have 10 here on property. They're the best riding horses, trail riding horses we've had. So
yeah, so we're doing a good thing by helping these guys out and helping their organization out with doing the trail riding and rescuing these horses. So let's get to this install. All right, as you can see, here's our sleeping space up here, and it's just like a little kitchenette area and then a bathroom. And that's pretty much it. First, we got to get this air conditioner off here, so we're going to start pulling this off, and then we'll throw the other one on. And then we got to figure out where we're going to put a battery, throw the wires. And I can't wait to get the new air conditioner in here like ASAP because it's already hot in here. All right, we just make sure the power's off, and I'm gonna pull some of these. Yeah, we got the 12-volt stuff disconnected. Now we just gotta disconnect the 120-volt stuff, which is just a couple screws. And all that will just turn into dead wires. We'll just get out of the way. And two more. Pull that down. And then You just pick the air conditioner up right off the top. So basically a couple wires and a couple bolts, that's it. If we get out of the way. Nope, there we go. Sweet. And most of these are, you got it? These are 14 by 14 openings. So we'll just take a quick measure. This should be fine. All right.
That is it.
Got it? Yeah. Careful.
Got it.
It's not too bad. All right, first thing we're gonna do is Chemo's gonna go stick it over the hole, and then we're gonna make sure we got all our holes lined up and it's big enough. But the skinny end that way, and basically we just need room for these. That's where the bolts go that are going to sandwich together. Like, remember we took the other piece off? It's the same thing. There's a bottom piece that's going to go on, 4 bolts are going to screw it in. We're just lining it up right now, but we have to put some foam up here real quick, which I will show you. So it came with this foam here that's basically going to go right there. We're just going to peel this back off and stick it down over the hole, and then that will sit on top of that. And then it's got a couple of foam blocks, because if it's elongated, you need something to support the back. So when we put it back on here, we'll put a couple of these down here so it'll support that back. And we just got some cleaner. We're going to wipe it up and then slap it down. That goes. That feels dirty. And I'm just gonna use some electrical tape, tape up a lot of this wire, just put it out of the way, because we're not using any of this stuff anymore. This little air box just screws right up in here. All right, and what this is the box that gets the air ducting down. And this is designed so that this slides over it and it can adjust to the height of the ceiling. If you have a thinner ceiling, it can go up. If you have a thicker ceiling, it can come down. It also comes with 2 sets of bolts for shorter or thicker roofs. And of course, we got the thicker roof, so we're gonna have to use this one. And you just take the all thread and you just screw on the lock nut, and you put it on there, and then you screw it in to the one each corner. All right, now that we got all the bolts in, we are just going to put the frame up, and then we'll just take these nuts and screw them on. And you'll see there's a alignment sticker here, and there's a sticker right up here that says alignment, so you just line that up. And we'll just go ahead and snug those down. All right, got the frame on. And this will go right on here. All right, I guess one of the biggest complaints I've heard about when people are installing these things, they're like, you didn't show how you ran the wires. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to show you how we run the wires. But basically, you know, this thing was supposed to be ducted. So there's some ducting that goes kind of back that way. And they're in the process of renovating this. So they plan on changing out all these things. So we just drilled a hole through here and come out here, and we're just going to run it down here for now, because the battery's probably going to wind up going underneath this seat. So when they change out all this mess, they're just going to rerun the wires. But for now, we just had to disconnect these 2 fuses here, and then pull the wire through, reconnect it, and then close these back up. And then we do have a little bit more work we need to get done, because this is ducted. We're going to have to close this off which I have a plan for that, and I'll show you in just a second. To seal up all that stuff, basically all we did was we took some cardboard, some really thick cardboard that came with the packing, cut it up into sections, and then we put it in place up here and then just taped it up so that it creates a seal. Otherwise, you're just going to be pushing heat through all these other vents. And probably a good idea would be to cover up all these vents. If these can close or not, yeah, if those can close, I would just close them up or tape them up or something, either that or replace them. Oh yeah, they just screw in. Then you won't have any hot air from the attic space coming through here. So this will just recirculate all the cold air and it won't get into the attic space. Now it's time to put the ducting part up. Just gonna run the cables right through this hole here. And then we're just gonna run all these wires through this hole right here and then screw it up. It's a little easier if you got an extra set of hands to help you. I have to hold it. All right, you're good. Thank you. Sweet, almost there. And here's this control blocks. You just hook all these things up and screw it up here. That one goes to there. Last but not least, air filter. And I like the looks of this thing. This looks more like a, you know, RV roof air conditioner than a lot of your typical 12-volt air conditioners, where they have like the round vents that you twist and turn to try to go everywhere. It looks like a, you know, like a 1995 Pontiac Dash. You know, this is much nicer. I like this. All right, now let's get this battery in here and wire it up. All right, so we have the battery right here, and this is the Akumo 400 amp hour 12 volt battery, and that's 5,120 watt hours of battery. This isn't my first experience with Akumo either. I know you guys follow along. I do have another YouTube channel, and they reached out to me over there on that channel, and we partnered up, and we were installing a 36 volt actually battery on Chemo's boat over here. We took it over there, installed it, and took it for a test run. They didn't even realize I had another YouTube channel. They reached out to me again, and you know, then after they realized, they're like, hey, wait, I recognize that name. So we worked together before, and these are some basic lithium batteries, not a lot of bells and whistles. And what does that mean? That means that there's not some ridiculous high price tag. And honestly, I think people, I don't want to throw any names under the bus, but there's a lot of big battery names out there that are just way overpriced. You know, they throw a lot of stuff on them that are really unnecessary. So with batteries like this, like a Akumo, they make it for like just what you need, and don't add a bunch of extra, which raises that price tag way up. I've worked with a few battery companies, and none of these have given me any issues. But I'm very curious to see how long this will last. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to hook it up, power it up, and then I'm going to use my clamp a meter on it and see how much power it's drawing. And all you have to divide is like how many amps it's drawing by the total amps this thing has. It's a little simple math. And what this here is, I just did order our 20 amp battery charger, and these are just a little Anderson connectors to connect to the battery charger. Power this thing on. Oh, there you go. Well, look at that. All right, first thing I had to do was get that off Celsius. So now it's on Fahrenheit. It's in the instructions. You basically just have to power the unit off, and then while the remote's on, then you press these two buttons, the menu and the down button at the same time, and changes from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And there's all different kinds of modes here. This one doesn't have heat, so the heat button you just ignore, and we just leave it on cool. And there's also an eco mode we're going to test out too. So what we're going to do is, first, is while this thing's running, we're going to check the voltage with our voltmeter. We select the voltage, and then we hit the select again to get the dash with the little dots, and that goes to DC. So we got 13.27 volts while it's running. And then if we're going to check amperage, we just switch over to amperage. All right, we just put it into cooling mode. Oh man, that's cranking now. See, now it's cranking up. We're running 6.5 amps right now. It's going up to 10. See, that's the compressor kicking up slowly. 34 amps, 38 amps, 40 amps. And all right, it's running 49. Looks like it's topping out at 48, 49. And you know, when they say they have, it's like an inverter air conditioner, and it works basically kind of like the chill cube, where the compressor ramps up slowly. You see it didn't spike. It just slowly rose up the amperage instead of spiking like a normal RV air conditioner where it spikes, and if you're on a generator inverter, a lot of times it'll throw the breaker. But we are running now about 47, 48 amps. Okay, so let's do a little bit of math here. 48 times what we say 3.27 volts. So we're running 636 watts right now and this is like cranked on like full power basically, and we're back up to 49 amps, so maybe a little bit more. Let's do the 49 times 13.27 equals about 600. It's about 650 watts, and this is 10,000 BTU. Another, like a regular RV air conditioner, like our old Dometic Brisk Air 2, that was 13.5 BTU, and it used twice that much power. It was like running like 1300 watts easy, and this is running just about half of that. So let's say, okay, let's just call this 50. It's like 49 amps or whatever. Let's just call it 50 amps. And at full blast, 50 amps, this battery will run you 8 hours. Full blast like it is right now. But of course, you know, that's not the way these air conditioners work. Once they get down to temperature, they slow down. You know, as it gets hotter, they speed back up. Oh my God, it's getting so cool in here. It's been so hot this whole time. This feels so good. So how amazing is that? 8 hours full blast on this air conditioner. All right, and like, let's say this same battery, you're running through an inverter and trying to run like a Dometic Brisk Air or Coleman, or like the one we just took off this roof. It would probably last you maybe 3.5 hours if you're lucky. And this thing will run 8 hours. And let's try eco mode. I'm gonna bust it on eco mode. We hit eco, and let's see what it's dropping down to. See, the amps are dropping. And they're going to 39 right now. About 39 amps. 38. Let's do some quick little math here. I'm horrible at math in my head. So 400 amp hours divided by 38 equals 10 hours, 10.5 hours. So 10 and a half in eco mode right now. This air conditioning can run off this battery for 10 and a half hours if the battery's full. That is insane. And that'll be draining it completely. But how crazy is that? And if you had the same battery running off a regular 110 alternating current air conditioner, it would only last you maybe 2.5, 3.5 hours if you're lucky. And we could possibly get 10 hours off this thing. They say 12 on their little pamphlet, but I'm going to tell you guys the real deal, because this is what I'm seeing. They may run it under different test conditions or whatever to get that 12 hours. No, actually, I think that's over. They were using a 480 amp hour battery, so they probably were telling the truth. This is a 400 amp hour battery, not 480 amp hour battery. So I believe that's what they were talking about, the 12 hours on a 480 amp hour battery. But 10 hours off this battery without any help from anything else. And just some solar panels and stuff, you can run this thing all day long and charge the battery at the same time. We'll talk about that in just a second. All right, Timo, so what do you think? You know, it doesn't really matter what I think. It's in his trailer, so.
Oh, nice and cool. This thing is nice.
That's awesome. And it's I don't think it's any louder than any other air conditioner.
Yeah, it's quiet.
Yeah. Like you guys can hear, I don't have a decibel meter, and I don't have a temperature gun, but I can tell you cold air is blowing out, and it is like way cooler in here than it was when I was working. Oh my God, it feels so good. But that's what it's all about, just bringing some comfort into here when they got to take the horses out, and they can sleep in here, even in this hot Florida sun, still living a little bit of comfort with all their horse rescue stuff. And here's the thing is, I was talking to them at the beginning of this, I'm like, this is all you need to do. You could probably throw about, like, with one charge controller, because it's a 12 volt, you can get a 100 amp charge controller, run 1200 watts of solar on the roof, and you can charge this battery and run this air conditioner at the same time, easily. So I think that might be an upcoming project, so that they can basically just have this air conditioner running all day and all night. Because even in the eco mode, that should get you through the night. And you know, it may run even better than that in the eco mode. And you can always add more battery too. Just buy another one of these batteries, you can run a full day without any sun, and the air conditioner running all day. And that's one of the things I was talking about these things are going to be, I think, revolutionized kind of RVing and this kind of stuff, is because you don't need an inverter, and it's so simple. You don't need a whole lot of extra equipment and everything, but no generator, no inverter, and you got cold AC, off grid, anywhere you go. I don't know, it doesn't get much better than that. And here's the big thing is too, is I don't know if I mentioned it before, but if you use an inverter like our inverter with our system, you know, when we're running 2 air conditioners, just changing from the DC voltage to AC voltage, the 2 inverters are using power, and sometimes they're using up to 300 watts. That's almost half of what this air conditioner takes. Is they're just wasting that much in energy just by running from DC to AC power. And this doesn't have any of that. You don't get any of that loss from running from DC to AC power. So it's just straight DC in and powers it. You don't have any of that transfer inverter loss. So that's one of the big benefits, and that's really got me thinking. And you're probably wondering, well, Chris, why didn't you put this in your RV? Well, I wanted him to be my guinea pig, and I know he needed one. And you know, this horse thing is you know, rescue and taking care of these animals is really important. It's like a farm here. They have chickens and all kinds of crazy critters. But we'll leave links for their website and everything, and below, or I'll put it right here, and we'll add that in. What's your website called?
Recklessranch.org. But we're on Facebook, Instagram. You can find us on all social medias.
All right, we'll make sure, in case you're ever in the Central Florida area, want to take a nice horse ride and help save a horse, then you can go there and check it out. It'd be a nice little RV adventure for you. Come stay down here. And what do you guys think of this air conditioner? Would you guys put this in yours? You could put this in your van, you know, a trailer, an RV. And don't forget, with this battery here, it has a BMS just like, you know, all of the other batteries, where it has low temperature cutoff, high voltage cutoff, low voltage cutoff, all that stuff. So it's almost impossible to damage the battery by either sending it too much power, not enough power, or over voltage or under voltage. The BMS, the battery management system inside of it, automatically says, nope, we're done, and it kind of cuts off, so you don't have to worry about that. And these wires do come with fuses on this end and that end, if you saw earlier. So it's fused on both ends. But I'll leave links for this battery and this air conditioner in the description area below. I don't know, I have a feeling like I could put this in our RV, because you know how much power it would save us off grid, and if we just put it in the bedroom. Or if you have like one of these fan vents in here, like we had one in our old RV that we didn't even use, you could just pull this thing out. You don't have to cut a hole or nothing. It's already there, and you could slap one of these 12 volt AC air conditioners in there, and you can still have your other air conditioners and have that. So like when you're off grid, you can just run that one. This thing is like perfect for it. Especially if you have an extra one of these, you can just slap it on already and take care of that problem. I can see so many uses for this thing. Oh, and here's another added bonus that I was thinking about too, is if we put it on our RV, you know, you've seen the other air conditioners we have up there, they're pretty tall and they cast a lot of shadow. So we're losing solar throughout the day as the sun moves across, but this thing is like this tall. So it's not going to cast like hardly any shadow on anything. So you get more, you know, especially if you replace most of your air conditioners with the 12 volt, and they do 24 volt. So they have 24 volt air conditioners too, which that's what we would get because we can run it straight to our 24 volt batteries. But you're going to gain a lot more solar because you're not going to be casting any shadows on your solar panels. But they have a lot of roof up here, so it's not, I don't think it's really an issue for them. Hopefully we'll tackle that here soon. If you guys are interested to see that, let us know in the comments, and whenever they can get that together, we'll try to make that happen. I don't know, I think that's pretty awesome. And I'm glad we could help out. Awesome. All right, so we got to help out a horse rescue, and we got to test out some cool equipment. A 12 volt air conditioner with a 12 volt 400 amp hour Acoma battery, and that was a 1-2 punch combo. Like, I can't believe how efficient that thing runs and how cool it is. And it's the days of cheesy 12 volt air conditioners are over, at least with this company and this brand. They seem to be on track, and it has me really thinking and contemplating some upgrades with maybe a 24 volt version of it on our air conditioner. That's going to have to be a separate video, but I really, was excited to see this thing in action and check it out and install it. Hopefully it was helping you guys out. I'll leave links for both those in the description area below, and I'll leave links for their trail ride horse rescue website and all that mess. So thanks for coming along. All right, hope you guys got something out of this. Subscribe, notification bell, all that fancy jazz. Give this video a big thumbs up, shows that you appreciate the content, because we appreciate you guys, and we truly do mean that. And hopefully we'll see you guys in the next video.